You are no longer needed by us. You freeloader who works from home, get out." Even my parents joined in the chant after hearing my sister's words, "Leave." I'm tired of being treated like a bother by my family, including my dog. Should they adopt such mindset, I will act in my own way. And thus my revenge plan was born. I'm a 33-year-old single woman named Kathy. I'm a self-employed web designer. I don't work outside because my job can be completed with just a laptop. I work at my own pace in a workspace at home. Even though I was doing a fantastic job, 2 years ago my mother and father started to bother me. My folks came to visit me one day when I was working from home. They began their conversation as soon as they walked into the house and looked around the room. "This house is incredibly large, Mom. We might be able to live here as well." You're correct. Even an extra room appears to exist. In addition, Kathy's living alone in such a nice home is a waste. "Yeah, that's moving this weekend." Agreed. Let's do that. My parents made all of the decisions without consulting me. I made it apparent to them that I had no plans to live with them, saying, "Wait a minute, I have no intention of living with you guys." My father shouted at me, his face flushed. "What are you saying? You claim to want this house from your uncle and tried to seize it for yourself. The lowest you can go is limited. Take command?" Uncle gave it to me after we had a nice chat. Avoid making excuses. In any case, our old house is collapsing. This weekend, your mother and I will be relocating here. In reality, though, my uncle, who spoiled me, gave me this house through my father's sibling. Although my uncle still owns the title, he gave me permission to utilize it however I saw fit. My father claims that the family home has aged significantly and that if we stay there, a major renovation will be required. Renovation isn't feasible because my father doesn't make a lot of money and my mother stays at home. This is the reason they targeted the house I inherited from my uncle. My parents had already made the decision to sell their own house and stated that they had nowhere else to go, so I was absolutely not happy about it. I grudgingly moved in with them because I couldn't just leave them hanging. However, my parents started making derogatory remarks about me as soon as they moved in. "Hey Kathy, you're over 30 already, right? Are you not planning on getting married? I'm enjoying my work right now. Keep talking like that, and you'll never get married. Why don't you learn something from your sister? My sister's married life isn't going that well, is it? Anyway, I'm fine for now." That's when my mother, who had been listening, interrupted. "Hey, don't badmouth your sister like that. Unlike you, she's married and she's even working for a company, you know. I might not be married, but I'm doing a decent job too. You're always just messing around on your computer. You're probably making money through some shady means, aren't you?" "Shady means? I'm making a living doing legitimate work. No need to worry. How dare you talk back to your mother? You really are the complete opposite of your sister." That's how it was. My parents constantly compared me and my sister. Sure, my sister works for a company, but she's just a temp in an office job. I don't look down on that, but I certainly earn more than she does. I understand that people from my parents' generation don't quite grasp the concept of working from home, but it was still hurtful to be constantly belittled. Then one day, as I was preparing dinner in place of my ever-idle parents, the doorbell rang unexpectedly. To my surprise, it was my sister Sandy, burdened with a huge amount of luggage. "Huh? Sandy, what's going on?" "A long time no see, Kathy. This is sudden, but I'll be living in this house from today." As I failed to grasp the situation, I blurted out a bewildered, "Huh? What a large house. If Uncle was going to give it to someone, he should have given it to me." "Whoa, hold on. Living here from today? I didn't hear anything about this. Didn't Mom and Dad tell you? I got divorced, you see. To divorce. So, I'll be counting on you from today." Ignoring my shock, Sandy trudged upstairs and promptly took over an empty room. Despite my best efforts to resist, my parents sided with my sister Sandy, and I couldn't do anything about it. From that moment, my stress just kept piling up. Sandy had quit her job after her divorce, spending her days talking ill of me with our mother. "Hey Mom, isn't this dress cute? Oh, yes, indeed, Sandy. You're so pretty. It will definitely suit you. Do you think so too? It's totally not something Kathy would wear, right? Well, Kathy is a bit plain, you see. That's why she can't get hired anywhere. All she can do is play online at home. Mom, you can't just say the truth like that. By my side, as I was preparing for dinner, they made sure I could hear their conversation. I was dying to retaliate, but doing so would only give them what they wanted, so no matter what they said, I just continued to live without any reaction. Then one day, a friend of mine had a litter of 4 puppies, and I decided to adopt one of them. I named him Muffin. He's a little black chihuahua with the most adorable round eyes. When he looks at me, he wags his tail as if it might break off. Owning a chihuahua has been a dream of mine since I was a child. Working from home can be lonely, so I thought Muffin could provide some much-needed comfort. From today onwards, you're Muffin, okay? Woof. I didn't particularly consult with my family when I decided to adopt him. After all, this is my house, and I am the one who is going to bear all the expenses for Muffin, so I don't see why they should have any complaints. When I brought Muffin home, as expected, my parents and Sandy started complaining. Hey, we didn't hear anything about you getting a dog. Exactly. Dogs smell, don't they? I hate odors. Kathy, how could you just bring a dog home without consulting us? We didn't approve of this. As they hurled their complaints at me, I flatly told them, firstly, I didn't pick him up off the street. A friend gave him to me. Also, I'm the one who's going to bear all the expenses for Muffin, so there shouldn't be any issue. What I choose to keep in my house is my business. If you have any complaints, you're free to leave. At first, they complained vehemently, their faces flushed with anger. But within a few hours, they were smitten by Muffin's cuteness and began to fawn over him. Aren't you cute? Are you mommy? Are you daddy? Or are you sis? Look over here, sweetheart. Wait a minute, what happened to their anger just a moment ago? Was it all a dream? My whole family was utterly fascinated by Muffin. Since then, they were constantly fussing over Muffin. Thanks to this, their hostility towards me had lessened, and I was able to spend relatively calm days. Then one day, an event occurred. They broke this tranquility. While I was out for an errand, I received a call from my sister Sandy. Hello, come back home now. In response to my sister's sudden shout, I asked what happened. She vented her anger, shouting back at me, it's not what happened. Muffin did his business on my clothes. What if they smell? Oh, just wash it quickly and it'll be fine. And isn't it your fault for leaving your clothes all over the floor? What? It's my fault? It's your poor training desk to blame. Enough. Muffin is still a puppy, you know. If you take him out for a walk, he won't do his business at home. You said you were excited to walk Muffin today. Did you actually take him? Well, I was going to take him later, and it's all because you didn't teach him properly. Pay me for the clothes. As expected, when I got home, my sister was extremely angry. Both my parents had been informed, and they were glaring at me, standing with Sandy. Sandy threw the soiled clothes at me and started freaking out again. I'm going to charge you for the cleaning cost, okay? Why should I? It's because you didn't take him for a walk and left your clothes thrown on the floor. Shut up. Don't talk back. It's because you brought this stupid dog home that this happened. What are you going to do about it? Stupid dog? You were quite fond of him before. Isn't it harsh to call him a stupid dog just because he had a little accident? It's because of your poor training. Take responsibility. Why can't my family think of anything other than their own convenience? While I was appalled by my selfish sister, my parents chimed in. Hey, Kathy, shouldn't you at least apologize to Sandy first? That's right, all of this happened because of that Muffin you brought home. Can both of you give it a rest already? Puppies are like babies. Can't you forgive them for making mistakes once in a while? Pathetic. This situation only happened because of this stupid dog. Kathy, you made the right choice by not getting married. If you became a mother, I doubt you'd raise a decent child. What? How dare you say something like that? If you took him for walks properly and kept the house tidy, none of this would have happened. Finally, my sister raised her eyebrow and pointed at me and said, "I can't take it anymore. I don't need you or this dumb dog. Get out of this house." What? Didn't you hear me? I said get out. We don't need a homeworking freeloader here. A homeworking freeloader? How can someone currently jobless say such a thing? And who do they think is paying for the household expenses? It's me. As I stood bewildered by my sister's outrageous statement, even my parents chimed in. That's right, Kathy. Leave this house. Your presence only makes us feel worse. You're a jinx. All three kept repeating, get out, in front of me. At that moment, my anger exploded. That's it. I've reached my limit. If this is how it's going to be, just wait. I, who had decided to take revenge on my family, packed my things and left the house with Muffin. In the end, my sister added fuel to the fire. This is all your fault, you know. If you had just listened to me obediently, none of this would have happened. They still don't seem to understand their situation, even though hell awaits them. Well, never mind you three. Enjoy yourselves in the house. Suppressing my grinning mouth, I left the house with Muffin. A few days later, as expected, my sister suddenly called. Kathy, help! The house is... What happened to the house all of a sudden? We were told to leave by the end of this month. So what? So, what's the problem? What do you mean, what's the problem? Why do we have to leave? Well, I've decided to sell the house. What? At my words, Sandy seemed to freeze. With a trembling voice, she barely managed to get the words out. What? What does that mean? You've decided to sell it? You don't have the authority. Well, I do. You see, that house has been mine a month ago. What? Yes. I had officially received the house from my uncle. Of course, the title is in my name. It's no surprise that Sandy was shocked. I hadn't told anyone about this. You're kidding, right? Even if the title was transferred to you by Uncle, you can't just sell it so easily. I was worried too. But right after you told me to leave, I consulted with Uncle. He said, "The house is yours now, Kathy. Do what you want. You should get away from that stupid family as soon as possible." What? No way. Whether they had been listening to my conversation with Sandy over the phone speaker or not, my parents started to make a fuss. Hey, Kathy, cut it out. We have no other place to live if we leave the house. That's right. It's unthinkable to do this to your own family. If you're a good daughter, show some respect to your parents. Respect. I asked them with a quiet voice. What are you talking about? You've always looked down on me compared to Sandy. Who do you think has been supporting your life for the past few years? You all had nowhere to live, so I reluctantly let you all live with me. With an unusually strong tone, my parents were at a loss for words. Without waiting for a response, I continued. Who treated me and Muffin like nuisances and kicked us out? It was you guys, wasn't it? Trying to be happy by driving out the original residents is shameless. You people belong to hell. At my outburst, my father begged, "Please help us. We're sorry." I don't care. Fend for yourselves, you idiots. With that, I hung up the phone with a loud click. Next, I blocked every family member's contacts. Seeing me raise my voice, Muffin looked up at me with a worried woof. I held Muffin close. I'm sorry, Muffin, for shouting. It's all right now. I will protect you. I'm really glad that I was able to get Muffin away from that family that treated him so poorly. Later on, it seems my parents and sister were forced to move out of the house at the last minute despite their desperate clinging. With my father's meager income and my unemployed mother and sister, there's no way they can lead a decent life. According to rumors, my sister is constantly being nagged by my parents to get a job. Their family relationship seems to be getting worse by the day. Although I have no interest in how they live, there's no doubt that their standard of living has plummeted since I left. This is indeed the case of reaping what you sow. Serves them right. Meanwhile, I'm spending my days in fulfillment with my beloved dog in a new pet-friendly apartment. I can work whenever I want, and no one can complain about it anymore. I can use my earnings solely for myself and my dog. I am extremely happy with my life now. Muffin, let's go to the dog park today. Woof. Muffin seems more lively. Maybe it's because that noisy family is gone. From now on, I want to protect Muffin for the rest of my life and lead a peaceful life.